Hi all, welcome to the workshop. We now have the next instalment from FanHome of Build Kit from Knight Rider, issues 23 to 26. So we now have issues 23 to 26 of Build Kit from Knight Rider. Again, like the last set of issues, I don't think there's very much to do. We're just going to be working on more of the turbine housing and a couple more engine details. We did get this free gift this time around. I've seen so many people on the forums say that it's not very good, and to be fair, it's not. If you want one of these, just buy the one from Amazon. It's so much better. I've got two up on my wall for KITT and KARR, and this might as well just be a coaster or something. Yeah. So it is metal. Yeah. If you wanted it just as a display piece or something, we haven't effectively paid for it, apart from the subscription. It's substantial metal, but it's certainly not the best quality. Missing the California up here. I've just put that to one side now. And we get on and see what we've got to build. So we're going to start off with issue 23. Again, gives you lots more information about the TV show. And on this one, we are building up more and adding more to the turbine we done last issue. We've got the parts for issue 23 here. So we have another large piece of metal here. I have another bracket, also in metal. We have this piece of black plastic, which is the bottom of the turbine. And we have some BP, GM and AM screws. I'll put those to one side. First thing we're going to be needing is this turbine housing and this bottom part of the turbine housing, and we're going to be placing it with these two little lugs facing towards away from this tunnel, so it faces towards this section here. So it goes in just like that. I do believe it could go in either way, so one to watch out for. So it goes in that way round. We're going to be securing that from the bottom with two BP screws. One in that. And one just in there. That's what that looks like. Next, we're going to be needing the turbine housing that we started last issue. And we're going to be taking this bracket. And this bracket is going to go just on the edge, just like that. And we're going to be securing that in place with two GM screws. So I've just got my pot of oil, because we're going into metal, and we're just going to be securing that in there. on that, and one just there. And that's what that's looking like. Next we're going to be getting the section we added that bottom housing to, and we're going to be placing that in here with this flat section here facing towards the black section there. And that's just going to slide in. Quite a tight fit, but if you work it in, it will eventually go in. And we're going to need 2 AM screws to secure that in place. Just grabbed a different screwdriver. And that's it, assembled for this issue. Moving on to issue 24. And in this issue, we're just building up a little bit of the intake. So we've got the lower part of the intake, now the upper part of the intake, and some BP screws. And so all we're doing is we're taking this lower half, mounting it to the bottom of the upper half, and putting in 3 BP screws. One, two, and number 3. That is all there is to do in stage 24. Right, moving on to stage 25. And again, not many parts and not a great deal to do, just working on the intake still. So these are all plastic parts, and we've got some more BP screws. So the first thing we need to do is get this little elbow part and its lower part. Just going to place those together and secure them together with 2 BP screws. One in there, and one just in there. Next, we're going to be taking this section here, and we are going to be placing it with the wider portion on this part here, and with the bend going towards the wider portion like that. And again, 2 more BP screws will secure that in place. And I'm going to finish off this issue with this little L bracket. It's going to go into the little square just here, like that, and another BP screw will secure that in place. That's now looking just like that. We now need the section we built just a minute ago, and this will be going just like that. So with it this way up, like that, so the intake will be going out to the left hand side. I'm flip that over and put 2 BP screws in the holes here. And that is that. And finally, for this build pack, we have issue 26. And this one, show you through the magazine again. And this one we're going to be building up the other side of the intake. And then we're going to be eventually mounting it to the rest of the turbine. Already here, there's some metal parts in this. So let's have a good look what we have. So we've got the air intake filter. We have the frame for that intake. We have the other inlet. This is the left side one. And these 2 parts are metal. And they are the intake covers. We have the air intake motor housing. And we also have some EP screws, GM screws, and some more BP screws. So we'll open those ones up. So the first bit we're doing is, as we did in the last issue, we're just going to be making up this housing. And 2 BP screws to secure that in place like last time. We're going to take the piece we done in the last issue. Again, we're going to be attaching that one to the other side, and securing that in place with 2 BP screws. One in there. And another one just in there. The next thing we want is the intake housing. Now, it does have an arrow, and we need to make sure that is pointing up when we place that on there. And we're going to be securing that with 4 BP screws on the inside. Just got one in there loose for the moment, so we can line up the other side. Tighten that one down. And that one. And then we'll add in the last 2. So that's now looking just like that. We're now going to get our intake filter, and I don't believe there's a right and wrong way to this. There is. So one's longer than the other side. I'm going to place that there and line up these 2 screw holes and use 2 EP screws to secure that in place. Just like that. We're now going to turn the assembly over, and we're going to be getting our left side, I believe it is. No. So it's you need the right side housing, and they are marked with left and right. So that will go just on there. I'm going to use a GM screw through the middle hole there, just to secure that in place. Just dip that in some oil again, and screw that through there. I'm going to move that to one side for a second, because now we need the left hand side piece. And we're going to be placing the motor housing just into the 2 holes there. There's a lug and a screw hole. Just line those up. And we're going to be putting a BP screw just through there to hold that in place. Just like that. And then we grab this section here, and we're just going to put that in the end, and that's just a push fit. That looks just like that. This is the point where it all comes together. So we need to grab the turbine housing again, and we're going to be using these 2 lugs on here to be able to secure this in place. And the way we're going to be doing that is just lining up those 2 holes there. And we're going to be putting in 2 GM screws through that and into this section here. One there. And put another one just in there. Just tighten that top one up. So that's now nice and tight on there. And then we're going to finish off by taking our other piece, the left hand side, and we're going to be marrying that up to that one just there. We're going to be flipping it over, and 2 more GM screws will go in here and here, and that will secure that in place. Just ensure that's nice and tight in there. And that is what that's looking like. And that's it for issue 26. And that's it for this build pack. I'm just going to finish off this video by recommending partwork upgrades. I've just recently acquired this nice soft mat. Comes in other colours. I've gone for the red because the World's Workshop logo. I've decided I'd like the red. Also from partwork upgrades, I've managed to get hold of these A5 plaques. So one for KITT, one for DeLorean. They're the current builds that I'm doing. What knows they call their blueprints. They're quite high quality printed. They're on nice solid acrylic stands. So if you want any of those, I'll put a link in the description below. So all that's left for me to say now is thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed that video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of how KITT progresses or any of the other projects I've got going on in the workshop, remember to hit that subscribe button and ding that bell. I'll see you around.